Is this your first time in New England?
No, it isn't. I was here last year performing with Young Ambassadors. We had about a 2-month tour in this whole area, so it's great to be back here.
So you're appearing with them tonight?
Yes, I am.
They're rehearsing here on the stage. Do you have to rehearse with them later on?
I sure do.
Brush up on what it was like?
I really need to brush up. Probably do a lot of dancing rehearsal and singing rehearsal. I'm not sure yet what they want me to do. So.
Well, I'm sure they'll tell you pretty soon. Well, tell me, what has it been like for you so far, being Miss America 1985? Is it all that you expected it to be?
Well, it's not something that I ever expected, and so I never really thought about what Miss America did. And so it is a big surprise this whole year, and I think it took me about 5 months before I really started figuring out what I was doing. Because I started finally getting into a routine, because the first few months it was like every day was different. Every day, every appearance was a different appearance. And now I've gotten to the point where nothing is really new. There certainly are a lot of demands on my time, and it's still a very demanding and exhausting job, but nothing is new. And so I'm much more relaxed, much more comfortable in this job.
Mm-hmm. How has it changed you, if at all?
It's made me a lot more aware of different kinds of people, what the real world is like. I think so often as students we don't see the real world. We see our campus, we see our social life. We don't see everything that goes on in the business world or in the political world firsthand. And now I have been able to do that. I go to dinners with chief executive officers and with, you know, all sorts of important people like that. And so it really has exposed me to that kind of a world. And I guess also it has helped my confidence in that I can be in the world and compete
and deliver
right, and you know, perform on a professional basis. Whereas before, as a student, I knew I was good, but I didn't know how good compared to the world. I knew in my own campus, yes.
What do you want to do with your training and this wonderful exposure that you've had?
There are so many opportunities right now. I'm really interested in entrepreneurship in business. I plan on getting an MBA degree, but I also want to major in political science and minor in English. I'm very interested in our political system, so a few years down the road, I might be getting involved in our political system.
You know, I told you earlier that I had the pleasure of judging 3 Miss America pageants, and one of the things we asked were political questions. Do you enjoy talking politics?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I think that stems from the fact that I grew up in South America and I was exposed to many different nationalities. I went to a school where the minority were Americans, and we had people from Israel and from Egypt and from Saudi Arabia and from Canada and from France and everywhere. And so I grew up with friends from all over the world, and so issues that affected them affected me. And so I was, we were up on things. And it surprised me when I came back to the United States how my friends, my own age, really didn't know anything that was going on past our own little community. And I would hope that people would become more interested in.
Well, let's talk a little bit about politics, because a lot of people have this misconception that the Miss America contest is only a beauty contest, that it's not a scholarship pageant. And they think, oh, these are beautiful girls, and that's the extent of it. So let's just kind of dispel those myths, because I'm sure you can respond to some of these comments. Today, as we speak, our president is over in Germany, and the great controversy around Bitburg. A great many of the American people felt that he should not go. How do you feel about that?
As I mentioned earlier in another press conference, I am very glad to see that he stuck with his decision, because we have a president with character, with courage of his convictions. And I am really pleased to see that he did that, because I think we need more of that kind of reconciliation in this world today. We really do. He's not going over there to say, oh, this was all wonderful what they did. He's not doing that. He's saying they are humans just like us. They had a leader who misled them, and they died too. Maybe they had a different cause, and our cause was more just. But I think we need more of that kind of reconciliation in this world.
Do you think we Americans who didn't support his going there will forgive and maybe forget?
I think so. I think so, when they see that there's no harm done. And also, if he were to have pulled out right now, that could have hurt U.S.-German relations. And I think in the long run, they'll say, maybe it was okay, and we need more of it.
It seems that there's a great deal of unrest on the college campuses, anti-apartheid demonstrations and et cetera. How do you feel about that? And do you think that the young students are really becoming more interested in the world and now coming outside of themselves.
You mean with regards to the apartheid?
Mm-hmm. As an example.
Well, I think there are two things that are happening. One, the students like to follow a cause. And if there's a cause, then they want to build on it. And it helps their own morale. It helps them to feel like they're doing something in the world. And also, with regards to the apartheid situation itself, it's good that we are using our freedom of speech to tell how we feel. And I personally am against apartheid. And so I'm excited when we're saying that, hey, we as a people don't like it. And why can't we do something to help it? We can't go in there with our armies and say, okay, cut it out.
But we can exercise our freedom of speech.
Right, we can let it be known, the moral majority. We can say, hey, you know, that's wrong, let's get it out.
Where Miss America is concerned, when she crowns, what happens to you after that?
What happens to me after that, I go back to school. I have 2 years left of undergraduate work, and then I plan on getting an MBA degree. So I'm looking at another 4 years of school. But there are just so many things open right now. I was interested, and I still am, in broadcast journalism, but also I've become more interested in business. And so kind of a combination of that and maybe our political system.
Well, maybe you can combine all of that and buy a TV station.
There we go.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm happy to have met you.
Likewise, thank you.